So now continually we have to go with that other parameters. And number one, already I said earlier, that is the two primary components. Number one is the agent and number two is the environment. The agent having the oral algorithm that learns from that trial and error. That environment, if we are saying, it may be the outside the entirety world space where that agent is moving and where that agent is making the interaction, and also it make action on these things. So now we have to go with that parameters that's happening in between the environment and agent. So that is the term is called, the common term is called, that is the percept. In that percept we are having that varieties of that action. So first, from that environment, the agent has to be understand what will be its current situation. It is called that state or S. So the state depicts about current situation returned by that environment. And number two is called reward, or it is an immediate return from that environment to apprise the lost action. If the agent did something positive and then something good, and then the agent should be rewarded with that certain value. So by that reward, the agent will understand what kind of that performance it did and then what it should do on that next. So if the agent receives more value of that reward, and then the agent can able to understand the thing what is doing in that environment, it seems to be that good. So giving that reward make the better understandability of the environment to the agent. And the number three is called that policy or that pie. The agent has to use a little bit of that certain standard procedures or that approach to decide what will be the next action should we do from the current state. So it can't able to decide the things according to that environment, but each and every agent should be specified with the appropriate policies. So these policies share about the things that will happen and what action that should be taken from that current state. And next one is called, that is that value V. So this value V is talking about that a long-term return or with that certain bit of that discount. That is the opposed to the short-term reward. So this is for long-term reward. And finally the action value, it is the Q. This is a similar value. It contains the additional parameter for their current action. So these are all the 6 parameters making that environment by understandable to the agent. So state, S, and reward, policy, value, and then so action value, and finally the policy. So these parameters making that understandability of the particular environment to the agent. And then how the reinforcement learning it's making the certain approaches. So number one is called model based approach, and number two is called the model free approach. So what I said earlier in the previous video, that is the two approaches in the reinforcement learning: model based approach and model free approach. So in the model based approach, the reinforcement learning learn completely about the model and derive the optimal policy. For an example, I have to say, in case in a chessboard, movement of a soldier. So there is one policy. What the policy is, in very first the soldier is moving and then the soldier may go for one step or may go for the 2 step. And again the moved soldier is only allowed to go for another 1 step, can't able to go for one more step. So this is the policy. So the model already be defined. So if I am deriving one algorithm to solve the problem in the chessboard, I should apply the model based approach of the reinforcement learning. On that continuous episodes, we have to see how the model free approach is working in that oral.